So welcome to our today's session. Today, they would want me to calculate here something very easy. So today, they would want me to calculate the post-merger EPS if the shareholders of N Limited accept a 1.8% preference shares whose par value is 100 for every 10 shares they own. Great. So I can see vividly that the preference share capital is being introduced. So if preference share capital is introduced, we shall end up earning what we call preference dividends or paying preference dividends. So now my formula of post-acquisition EPS here will change slightly. This is how my formula of post-acquisition EPS will look like. This is how my formula of post-acquisition EPS will look like. Post-acquisition EPS, post-acquisition EPS will be earnings of company 1 plus earnings of company 2 all over number of ordinary shares of company 1 plus number of ordinary shares of company 2, of course, times exchange ratio. But now there is something here that you need to come and first of all pay preference dividends before you decide to distribute the profits attributable to ordinary shareholders out. So whenever they talk of preference share capital, this is how my formula will be looking like. Very important for you to know this, that we must introduce what we call the preference dividends up there. Then number two, if acquisition is through preference shares or debentures. Debentures is the same as what here? Debt. Debentures is the same as debt. Then the exchange ratio. Then the exchange ratio will be equal to 0 always. Whenever acquisition is through preference shares or debenture capital, that for us to have acquired a firm, we either gave out our preference share capital, right? Or we gave out debt instruments to be able to acquire a firm. Then the exchange ratio automatically will always be equal to 0. If you look at the question that I'm trying to handle here, they used what here? They used preference. They used preference share capital. They use preference share capital, and that is why I'm paying preference dividend here. And therefore, the exchange ratio here must be 0. The exchange ratio must be 0. This is very interesting. If this exchange ratio is 0, then I can see something disappearing. And ladies and gentlemen, this is now very important. This is very important. What we are saying there is that notably, our post-acquisition EPS, where we are using, in this case here, preference share capital, will be looking like this. It will be earnings of company 1 plus earnings of company 2 minus preference dividend all over number of ordinary shares of the first company. Remember, the first company is a predator company, the one that is swallowing the other. The denominator cannot be 0. Remember, this is a plus. This is a plus. The exchange ratio is 0. So it is, if for example, if this was to be 3 and this was to be 4 times 0, so this 0 is only biting into this 4. So it's only this that will go. So we'll have these 3 remaining. And that is why you can see here, I have got number of ordinary shares of the first company, because 0 is only, in this case here, eating number of ordinary shares of the second company. Yes. So there is something that I would want you guys to know, and please know it very well. that when I go to a question, get a question talking of debt being issued out for acquisition, get a question where they're speaking about preference share capital being given out for purpose of acquisition, then the exchange ratio automatically there will be 0. The exchange ratio automatically there will be 0. And this is how the formula will look like. Very interesting concept. Very interesting concept. And then now, ladies and gentlemen, the next thing, having appreciated the formula here that I will do, I'll come and calculate the value of preference share capital. Calculate the value of preference share capital. Calculate the value of preference share capital. So the preference share capital value, this basically depends on the number of shares that I issued. Like here they have told me, we issue 1 preference share for every what year? 10 shares they own. 1 preference share for every 10 shares that they own. And this preference share that we are giving out, this 1 preference share they are giving out is exactly equal to 100 bob. So basically that means that I'm giving away 100 Kenya shillings for every 10 ordinary shares that I will acquire. So please listen here. Listen here, I'm giving out what here? 1 preference share. But this 1 preference share that I'm giving out has got a par value of how much? Has got a Kenya shillings, 100 par value. So basically, we are giving out Kenya shillings 100 par value. We are giving out Kenya shillings 100 preference to be able to get 10 ordinary shares. 10 ordinary shares, to be able to get 10 ordinary shares. So I'm giving away 1 preference share capital of 100 bob for every 10 shares that they give me. So what I need to do is to appreciate how many shares does this targeted company have in total. How many shares does it have? In total? This company has got how many shares in total? This company, if you look at this company very well, number of ordinary shares it has, they are 2.5. So it has 2.5. It has 2.5 shares. They're in thousand or in millions, but I don't have to change them. So in this case here, we are talking of what here? 2.5. So then could you kindly tell me that this will amount to how much in terms of preference share capital? In terms of preference share capital. PSC means preference share capital. Preference share capital. Preference share capital. So remember, we are doing this question here. We are doing this question here. We are doing this question here. This is the question that we are doing. This is the question that we are doing. I wish you guys mentioned that you missed yesterday's class. We should have sent the video. We should have sent you the video of yesterday. These videos are yours. All right, so I'm being given a figure of 25, a figure of 25. So if you try cross multiplying here, it will be 100. It will be 100. If I try cross multiplying here, it will be 100 times 2.5 all over 10, which at the end of the day, I'm being told here, it is 25. It is 25, of course, they are in millions, like that. Shillings 25, they're millions. Now, having gotten that, I'll ask myself, out of these shillings 25 million, how much in preference dividends will I be paying now? Preference dividends. So come here and now calculate the preference div. They have given me the preference dividends rate as 8%. So 8% of 25 will be equal to how much? 8% of 25 will be equal to how much? These guys have given me the preference dividend rate. They have told me the preference dividend rate. The preference dividend rate is 8%. It's here. It's 8%. So it is 8% of the total preference share capital. It is 8% of the preference share capital. Preference share capital. Of the preference share capital. Was there class yesterday? No, on Friday. On Friday, sorry, I'm sorry for that, on Friday. So I'm being given a figure of 2. Thank you so much. Could you kindly double underline this figure? Please double underline that figure. Please double underline that figure, and then come and fix it here. Come and fix it here. So, ladies and gentlemen, our earnings of company one, if I remember very well, you had given me this figure of 640. We have here a figure of 160 million. And then now we have a preference dividend of 2. A preference dividend of 2. How about number of ordinary shares of the first company, number of ordinary shares of the first company, number of ordinary shares of the first company, which is company M, number of ordinary shares of company M. You guys are given me a figure of 15. A figure of 15. Oh, yes. So divided by 15. So here you have to go slowly. First of all, get the numerator. Get the numerator, so 640 plus 160, that is 800, minus 2, that is 798. 798, so we have here 798 divided by 15. That's how you do it in Bodivas. So 798 divided by 15 gives me what figure at the end of the day? This will give me what figure at the end of the day? So according to Let and Musioka, we are getting 53.2. So you're getting 53.2 like that. Please double underline. 53.2, double underline. Post-acquisition EPS, post-marriage, earnings per share. Whenever we have a preference share capital, always remember to subtract the preference dividend. Always remember that in the denominator, we shall only account for number of shares of the first company. Number of shares of the first company. Thank you very much, Gladys. Gladys is asking whether we should tax preference dividends. They are never taxed. Never taxed. Any form of dividend is never taxed. Any form of dividend is never taxed. Because it's an appropriation. It will not go through the company's tax bracket. It will not go, yes, it will not go through the company's tax bracket. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, after that, then I'll be able to do the last part of this question, where they would want me to calculate post-merger EPS. If every 40 shares of N Limited are exchanged with one 10% debenture, whose par value is 1,000. Debenture is debt. Debenture is debt. So, ladies and gentlemen, once I read this kind of a question, I know for sure I will get all the marks here. Why? Because I'll appreciate one thing, that debenture is being involved. And when debenture is being involved, then straight away, ladies and gentlemen, I know for sure when debenture is being involved, that the exchange ratio will be 0. At least that is a low-hanging fruit, which I should be able to harvest. So we are saying there, since debenture is being used, then the exchange ratio will be 0. That's what we are writing there. Since debenture is being used, then the exchange ratio will be 0. Then the exchange ratio will be 0. Then the exchange ratio will be 0. Great. Now listen, so if the exchange ratio is 0, then how do we write our post-acquisition EPS when debentures or debt is used? So then this one here will be earnings of company 1 remains plus earnings of company 2. But now we know that debenture holders, we shall pay them interest. So in this case here, minus what here? Minus interest. But as somebody has mentioned up there, now interest has to get some tax waiver for us. So interest has to be interest after tax. Unlike dividends, interest has to be interest after who? After taxation. And then down here, we appreciate the fact that this exchange ratio is 0. So you appreciate the fact that this number of ordinary shares of company 2 will disappear. Where it disappears to, I don't want to know. What I would want to appreciate here is the fact that I'll be left with number of ordinary shares of company 1. Number of ordinary shares of company 1. So key thing, we are saying that if it's debt, debentures being used, exchange ratio is what? Is 0. Exchange ratio is 0. Very, very important. And because it is debt being used, then debt must reduce my total earnings. Interest. must reduce my total earnings, but that interest has to be after what year? Has to be after tax. So then kindly come here and give me the total debt issued. Give me the total debt issued. So they have told me something very easy here, how they are able to make this acquisition is here. We are told to calculate post-merger EPS if every 40 shares of N Limited are exchanged with 10% debenture. Debenture is debt. Value. So it's like for every 1,000 we give out, then we shall be given 40 shares. 40 shares. So for debt of Kenya shillings 1,000. So Kenya shillings 1,000, we have 40 shares. 40 shares. So then remember, this is a complete acquisition. We are asking ourselves, how about the debt we shall give when we acquire 2.5 million shares of the targeted company? Remember, it is a targeted company that is being acquired. I know this is millions, but I mean, just leave those millions away. Leave the millions away. So 2.5. So it is these shares, it is these shares, it is these shares, it is these shares of company two, which you are acquiring. So somebody is giving us that figure there. So if you cross multiply, you will get 1,000 times 2.5 over 40, which will give us how much? 62.5 million. Please, it doesn't stop there. What I'm interested in is the interest amount. Fortunately, they have given us the rate of interest. So come and give us the interest payable. The interest payable. So fortunately, they have given us the rate of interest. So the rate of interest here, the rate of interest in the question is 10%. 10%. So then these will be 10% of 62.5. So interest will be 10% of 62.5, which will end up giving me what figure? Somewhere 10% of 2.5 is very easy, 6.25 gross. So 6.25 million. And then, of course, they have given me the tax rate. Tax rate in the question is 40%, which is the same as 0.4. So 1 minus tax, this will be 1 minus 0.4, which will give me 0. What here, somebody? 1 minus tax will give me 0.6. This is where I got my 40%. This is where I got my 40% from. Tax has been given, it's 40%. It's not always 30%. So then come and plug in the figures here. So we have earnings of company one. Earnings of company one, this is 640 plus earnings of company two, 160 minus the interest. You guys have given me a figure of 6.25. Please forget the millions. Forget the millions, lest they confuse you. All our figures are in millions. Divide this, or rather before that, I have the 1 minus tax, which gives me 0.6 like that. Number of ordinary shares of company one. Number of ordinary shares of company one, you guys had given me a figure of 15. Number of ordinary shares of company one, you guys had given me a figure of 15. If I'm not wrong, this is what you guys had given me. 15 years. Number of ordinary shares of the first company is 15. So please go slowly to give us the numerator figure. First of all, give us the numerator. Please here, come here, give us the numerator. Give us the denominator. I know is 15. How about the numerator? Please give this to me separately. How about the denominator? So we have 640 plus 160 minus 6.25 times 0.6 equals. Please give me this figure. Please give me this figure, the numerator. Please give me the numerator alone. 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 807, according to Mosioka, it's 807. 807. So 807 divided by 15. 807 divided by 15. 807. Remember, if you want to enjoy your Zoom classes very well, always participate 100%. Punch your calculator. Even if you're getting wrong figures, don't worry. So long as you're punching and so long as you are really throwing those figures to us, throwing the figures to us. So like now, Manoti tells me that the numerator is supposed to be 799.85, which is very good. Very good. Salsa tells me 796.25, different figures, which is very good because now it means that, this is what we call democracy, right? People should be free. Remember, what are we doing? Is 640 plus 160, which gives me 800. It can't be 807, really. It cannot be 807. It cannot be 807. It has to be less. It has to be less. 796 point what here? 796.25. I hope you've been able to see. 796.25. 796.25. And therefore, the final answer, who can give us the final answer here? Who can give us the final answer here? Who can go ahead and give us the final answer? Who can go ahead and give us the final answer? So 53.08. 53.08. 53.08. That's the final answer. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen and listen to me very well. This is what I wanted you to master, because Roman 5, when it comes to breakpoints is in a different topic called financing decisions. We shall be able to reach there. And then we come back to doing breakpoints of mergers and acquisitions. So part 5, you cannot do it now. Part 5 shall be done later. So for now, what I would expect you guys to do, please go to your revision kits, 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 go to your revision kits. I want to believe you guys have these revision kits. And I would want us straight away to go to page number 120. Page number 120. This handout was shared. This handout was shared with you guys. Are not taking your WhatsApp wall so seriously. This handout was shared. This handout was shared, you remember. I only owe you one handout. I only owe you one handout. The handout of mergers and acquisitions. Just check again on your wall. You'll be able to see them. You'll be able to see this handout. This handout was shared. Mergers was shared. Mergers was shared. Let's confirm, Paul. Confirm again. Confirm again. So this is page number 120. Are we there? Or November 2019? November 2019. November 2019. November 2019, question number 5. 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 And I would want us to start with part B of this question. Part B of this question. Great, Paul has confirmed. Part B of this question. We start with part B of this question. We go back to part A after we finish this. So part B, A Limited and the B Limited are companies operating in the same line of business. In the past few years, A Limited has experienced stiff competition from B Limited, to an extent that A Limited is now contemplating acquiring B Limited in order to consolidate its market share. The following financial data is available about the two companies. So we have annual sales, I can see net income, I can see ordinary shares outstanding, I can see EPS, I can see MPS. This is a good examiner who gives me EPS and MPS, and I can as well see the tax being given there, 30%. So required number 1, they want me to give them the maximum exchange ratio that A Limited should agree to, assuming that it does not expect dilution in its post-acquisition EPS. So to give you exactly 3 minutes, give me the answer to number 1. Give me the answer to number 1. Give me the answer to number 1. Great. Remember that when they talk of maximum exchange ratio, maximum, and we explained this so well in our last session, when they talk of the maximum exchange ratio, you will always look at this as the EPS of the target company all over EPS of predator company. This is the easiest way of you understanding this. EPS of the target company all over EPS of the predator company. All right. So when you look at the EPS as given, I can see, first of all, which one is the predator company? Predator company is the one that is acquiring, the one that is making the acquisition. So like here we are told A Limited and B Limited are companies operating in the same line of business. In the past few years, A Limited has experienced stiff competition from B Limited to an extent that A Limited is now contemplating acquiring B Limited. So A is the acquirer. So the acquirer will be known as the predator. So EPS of target company. So this is B. And you can see B's EPS is 3. And the A's EPS is what here is 4. So then that is very correct. Thank you so much. That's very correct. 3 over 4. And we prefer leaving our exchange ratios in form of what here? Fractions. We prefer leaving our exchange ratios in form of fractions like that. Great. How about Roman 2? Roman 2, now they want us to give them the total premium the shareholders of B Limited would agree to receive at the exchange ratio in B1 above. So is there somebody who can give me an answer to this? Is there somebody who can give me an answer to this? Total premium the shareholders of B Limited would agree to receive at exchange ratio in B1 above. Total premium. Total premium. The total premium. Please give us the total. Let me see who will be the very first one to give me this. The total premium of the targeted company. 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 Yeah, so what we shall do today we shall give presents. So assuming that Musioka was the first to get this 15 correct, the one who got 15 correct, if it's correct, she should be able to get a present. And then when we go to the third question, we shall be able to give, today we're going to give presents. So if she gets it correctly, then we shall be able to reward her with Kenya shillings 300. Kenya shillings 300 is not bad in this economy. 300 Kenya shillings can buy you good credit. Let's see. So remember when they ask for total premium, this is the formula. You will take the offer price, the price offered minus MPS of the target company. MPS of the target company. MPS of the target company. Great. Now, the offer price has not been given in this question. When offer price is not given in a question, I showed you what you're supposed to do. When offer price is not given, you calculate it yourself. You calculate it by looking for what we call the DOP. So you calculate it by looking for what we call the DOP. DOP is a non-diluting offer price. DOP is a non-diluting offer price. Yes, I will share that video. I'll share that video immediately after this. So in this case here, we have offer price, which is the non-diluting offer price. I'll look for the non-diluting offer price. And then how do we get this non-diluting offer price? To get the non-diluting offer price, we take the PE ratio, the PE ratio of predator, the PE ratio of predator times EPS of the targeted company. So we take the PE ratio of the predator times EPS of the targeted company. I went and broke down this further. We said PE ratio, this is the same as MPS over EPS. P over E, price over earnings. So it is MPS over EPS. So ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, to get this DOP, the non-diluting offer price, we are taking here MPS of predator all over EPS of predator all over EPS of predator times EPS of the targeted company times EPS of the targeted company, like that. EPS of the targeted company. Yeah, salsa person, if you're able to get the final answer correctly, you know what I'm interested in is a final answer, then you get your 300 bob. Don't even ask Mosioka. You go ahead and post your answer, the correct one, the final one. Once you get it correctly, 300 bob is yours. It's not pegged on it has to be Mosioka. No. I'm just interested in the final answer. Now, so that is okay. So remember, it is P over E, MPS over EPS. So MPS of the predator, that's MPS of company A over EPS of company A. So they've given me these MPSs. Yes, they've given me the MPS of company A. I can see it there. MPS of company A is 60, right? So I'll take 60, divide by, I will take 60, divide by, I will take 60 here, I'll 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 come here and take 60, I'll come and take 60 divided by EPS of company B, company A, I mean, EPS of company A, which is 4. Times, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have here? EPS of the targeted company, EPS of company 2, which is 3. These are how they were able to get the 45, And therefore, the premium here will be equal to the offer price is 45 minus the market price per share of the targeted company. Market price per share of this targeted company, I can see market price per share of the targeted company. I can see an error there. This is supposed to be shillings 30. Market price per share, targeted company minus 30 there, not 3.0. So 45 minus 30, that gives me how much? That gives me 15. Now again, remember that this is 15 per share. For every share they sell, it's 15 per share, and yet they wanted the total premium. So they wanted the total premium. So what they want is the total premium. So I need to come here. And ascertain my total premium will be equal to this 15 per share times the nose of the second company. Nose is number of ordinary shares. Nose is the number of ordinary shares. So I'll come and take 15 here. Times the number of ordinary shares of the second company. Second company, number of ordinary shares, there are 3. So 15 times 3 gives me how much? 15 times 3 gives me how much? 45. So who was the first chap to get this 45? You were the first person to get this 45. Could you kindly give us your M-Pesa number there very first? M-Pesa number there very first. We have people who like honoring our promises. If you're the first one, now they've given me two of them now. Who do I take as number 1? So I would want witnesses. Who was the first one? It's Mosioka. But no. It was Mosioka. You know, this thing does not lie. If you come here, you will see Mosioka here, 45, and then you will see Paul, 45. So in this case, it's Mosioka who got this. Paul, yours is the next. You know, we have other questions here. Paul, don't worry. We have other questions here. Okay. So then we have here. So I've actually sent you 500. We should not be sending students very small money is not very right. The economy is not very okay. How comes this thing is not going? Does M-Pesa have a problem? Rate 45, number 3. A Limited's post-acquisition earnings per share, assuming that the two companies agree on an offer price of shillings 30. A Limited's post-acquisition earnings per share. So they want us to give them post-acquisition EPS. This is very easy. This is very easy. This is very easy. This is very easy. Post-acquisition EPS. So this is earnings of company one plus earnings of company two, all over number of ordinary shares of company one, number of ordinary shares of company two, times the exchange ratio. If I'm the one doing this, first of all, I will come here and put down the exchange ratio. So exchange ratio, this time, remember, this is not the maximum one. This is the normal one. They've given me an offer price. So I will take the offer price, I divide this by MPS of the predator. I divide this by MPS of the predator. So is there somebody? Remember, there are two types of exchange ratios. We have the maximum exchange ratio, the one that will never lead to dilution of EPS, the one that you take the EPS of the targeted company over EPS of the predator. That's maximum. But whenever you see this examiner giving you offer price, the exchange ratio will always be obtained by us taking the offer price over MPS of the predator. So how much have these guys agreed on as the offer price? The offer price, ladies and gentlemen, the offer price is Kenya shillings 30 here. So I'll take 30, divide this by the MPS of the predator. So the MPS of the predator is 60. MPS of the predator is 60. If I wish, I can cancel, take this to a half really, but I'm not interested with that. I'll just leave it like that. And then come now here. So we plug in the figures. So remember, these are earnings per total earnings, or profit after tax, or net income. So as this examiner given me the net income, yes. No, I'm sharing a wrong document. I should not be sharing this. It is here. It is in the past paper. The past paper, they have given me the net income for A is 40. So 40 plus 9. All of a number of ordinary shares of the first company. Number of ordinary shares of the first company outstanding. I can see 10 plus 3 times exchange ratio of 30 over 60 here. For the many years that I've marked KASNEB questions, KASNEB exams, I'm so sure most guys will really not be able to get it up beyond here because of what your body mass issues. Body mass is a non-respecter. Doesn't want to respect that you have a master's or you've got to go slow with it. It's like this is 3 times 30 over, this is 1.5, multiply first. Then whatever you get, you add to 10. So then this gives me what here, somebody 11.5, 11.5. So then at the end of the day, what will be my final answer? So 49 over 11.5, 49 over 11.5 will give me how much? 49 over 11.5 will give me how much at the end of the day? 4.26. Okay. 4.26. Thank you very much. 4.26. 4.26. So is it 4.26 or 4.27? Is it 4.26 or 4.27? Paul Manotti, just be keen. Of course, those are rounding off errors. 4.26. Thank you very much. 4.26. 4.26. So remember, the most important thing is for you to appreciate that we have got two types of what here exchange ratios. We have the normal exchange ratio, normal exchange ratio. So the normal exchange ratio, this one is the one that we calculate whenever we are given an offer price. Whenever you're given an offer price, you calculate a normal exchange ratio. And how do we calculate this? We normally take the offer price given all over MPS of the predator, MPS of the predator. Very important for you to pick that. And then now we have what we call maximum exchange ratio. Maximum exchange ratio is the same as the non-diluting exchange ratio. The same as non-diluting exchange ratio. Non-diluting exchange ratio. Okay, Willie, and I forgot to call Willie yesterday. We shall overcome. So maximum exchange ratio is the same as non-diluting exchange ratio. So if I use this exchange ratio, which is maximum, then the EPS of the company will not be diluted. So and how do we calculate this? This is the one that we calculate by taking the EPS of the target company, EPS of the target company over EPS of who? EPS of the predator. EPS of the predator. Very important concept for you to appreciate. Great. Great. Then if you allow me, I'll go to the last question, which is Roman 4. Roman 4, they want me to give them a limited post-acquisition EPS, assuming that for every 100 ordinary shares of B Limited, the shareholders are offered 12% debentures of shillings 500 per value. Can I give you 3 minutes to try this question? Let me give you 3 minutes to try this question, please. 3 minutes are over. Thank you very much. I can see most of you have really given us their best shots. So A Limited's post-acquisition EPS, assuming that for every 100 ordinary shares of B Limited, the shareholders are offered 12% debentures or 500 per value. It's debentures. And if it's debentures, then I know how my formula will look like, first of all, of post-acquisition EPS. I know how my formula will look like. So my post-acquisition EPS, post-acquisition EPS will be earnings of company 1 plus earnings of company 2 minus interest. This has always to be after tax all over the number of ordinary shares of the first company. We know for sure that the exchange ratio here will be 0. So that's how the formula will look like. From there, the total loan will be how much? So they're giving us, or rather they're giving them 2 debentures whose par value is shillings 500. So this is akin to giving them 1,000. Kenya shillings 1,000. So you're giving them Kenya shillings 1,000, and for every Kenya shillings 1,000 we give them, these chaps will give us how much in terms of, will give us how much in terms of shares. Will give us how many shares? 100 shares. Will give us 100 shares. This company 2 giving us 100 shares. And how many shares does it have in total? This company 2 ordinary shares outstanding, there are 3. You don't have to introduce the millions, just leave it like that. There are 3. So then this one will be equal to 1,000 times 3 all over 100. So this goes, which gives us a total debt of 30. Total debt of 30. So once I have the total debt, then I need to come and calculate the interest payable. Fortunately, they have given us the coupon rate. They have given us a coupon rate of what percentage they are? 12%. So we have here 12% of 30, which gave you guys how much? What is 12% of 30? What is 12% of 30? What is 12% of 30? Please give me the answer. Please give me the answers. 30. Is it 36 or 3.6? Okay, 3.6. Thank you very much. 3.6 like that. Yes. Now from there, every other thing falls in place. So I have here earnings of company 1, earnings of company 1, earnings of company 1. Don't take earnings per share. This E1 is the net income, is the profit after tax. So this is 40 plus 9 minus the interest of 3.6 times 0.7 times 0.7. I'm so sure you guys, I'm down at the 0.7 wapi. I'm so sure I'm down on the 0.7 wapi. You guys haven't yet seen where I got the 0.7 from. That one I'm so sure of. It's 1 minus tax, isn't it? Tax this time around is 30%. It's given down there. Tax is 30%. 30%. All right. all over, so 1 minus, sorry, so 1 minus tax, 1 minus 0.3, this will give us 0.7. All over number of ordinary shares of the first company. Number of ordinary shares of the first company, what do we have here? Outstanding. Ordinary shares of the first company, they are 10. Here you have to be very careful with body mass. You must be very careful with body mass. You must be very careful with body mass. First of all, get the numerator correctly. The numerator correctly. Please give me the numerator. 40 plus 9 minus 3.6 times 0.7. Make sure that the 0.7 is not multiplying any of the three numbers. It's not multiplying any of the two. I mean, 40 plus 9 minus 3.6 times 0.7. Don't say equals in between. So according to John, it's supposed to be 46.48. 46.48 all over 10. That's how we get 4.648, like that. You see, I'm not able to understand your question. Interest is not 30%. 30% is the tax. 30% is the tax. If I want to get interest, I've been given there in note 4, question 4. Question 4, where they have given us the interest is 12% of the total debt. Total debt, we've been able to calculate total debt here. We say total debt, remember in the total debt, what happened here, they were giving us 100 ordinary shares, and we were giving them 12% debentures of 500 par value. So we were giving them two debentures, and each debenture issues 500. This is how we were able to get 1,000 Kenya shillings. Equals what here? Equals 100 shares. How about them giving us all the shares that they have? How about them giving us all the shares that they have? What shares do they have? Shares that they have, these guys, they have 3 shares up there from the table. So when I come here, it will be 1,000 times 3 over 100. So this disappears. So this gives me 30 bob or 30 million. That's the total debt. Once I have the total debt, when I need to get now the interest, I know the rate of interest is 12%. That's how I was able to get 3.what here? 3.6. Hope that helps you, Lucy. Great. Thank you very much. So that is the end of that question. And I know in part 1, what many students were not able to get in part 1 is on generic mergers. On generic mergers are pretty similar to the horizontal mergers. Again, they should not be separated. They should not be separated. This is the example I just wanted to disturb my students here. So I talk of congeneric mergers or acquisitions. Now, this is where two or more companies in the same industry, but selling different products, merge. Selling different products, in this case here, merge. So when you have 2 or more companies in the same industry, which are selling different products, merge, generic, the general in nature, when they merge, right? So for example, we'll be looking at a food industry. So in the food industry, which kind of example could I be looking at? I could be looking at, for example, a confectionery shop selling cakes, etc. Plus, in this case here, for example, plus, for example, some restaurant. Some restaurant, which restaurant will these guys here be knowing? The restaurant which is very common here, the restaurant which is very common here, do I know of any, like branch restaurant along Kimathi, but Moi Avenue, branch hotel, not hotel, it's a restaurant, branch restaurant. You see, this does not have any confectionery. But now they have realized that the walk-ins, the clients who are walking in there every day, they would want to bite a few of these sweet things. So then they get a farm that is selling basically confectionery, and then they agree. Both of us are in the food industry, but you see they're selling different products. When they come together, when they merge together, then automatically whatever merger will be happening there is congeneric. Congeneric mergers is where we have two or more farms in the same industry. Basically, in quote here, there are some kind of competitors in this industry. You know, somebody in this case here who is going to eat here, who may not eat. So they are competitors in some kind of a way. So they're in the same industry, but they are selling what here different products. When they come together, then we call that one what here congeneric. Company for pizza and what here juice. Great. They'll tend to complement each other. They'll tend to complement each other. Thank you. Great. Now, if you allow me, textile industry, one company doing women wear and another one doing kids wear coming together. Yes, that's correct. That is very correct. That's very correct. You guys are very bright. Thank you so much. And really, these questions are very many. And why do I like them? Every time they bring them, they normally repeat them like word by word. They only change in this case here a few values. Like if you look at this one that came in May 2017, just go to May 2017. May 2017. Go to May 20. Pizza in, chicken in, creamy in. Great. When they come together, right? I can see them there. When they come together, automatically that becomes a congeneric. Same industry, different products. Same industry, different products. Same industry, different products. So then we have May 2017, question number 5. So May 2017, question number 5, a very good offer for you. Okay, so here we are. So remember, it is May 2017, question number 5. Question number 5. So they want us to give them the maximum exchange ratio that A Limited should agree to if it expects no dilution in EPS. No dilution. I love this. Maximum exchange ratio. I love this. So my maximum exchange ratio then, my maximum exchange ratio will be EPS of the target company all over EPS of the predator. EPS of the predator. So EPS of the target company, it's always important for you to read this thing very well. Our target company is which one? Target company is B. Because you see A is the one that is acquiring B, so A is a predator. So then EPS will be 1.5 for B, 1.5 for B, 1.5 for B over EPS of the predator. EPS of the predator is 3.5. So once I write this, what I'll do, I'll go to my calculator and press there 1.5 divided by 3.5. I say equals. When I say equals, there is a button there quite near shift, which is written A, B over C. That's a fractional button. So when I press 1.5 divided by 3.5 equals, then I'll go back and press this button once, A, B over, it'll give me a simplified fraction. Is anybody who is able to get this 3 over 7 simplified fraction from their calculator, not by canceling them, not by canceling them, this goes 0.5. No. Is anybody who is able to get this 3 over 7 by using this ABC function? ABC function. ABC function. Don't give us fractions. ABC. John is saying yes. ABC, where you're getting 17.14, honestly, from it cannot be more than, it will be 0. If you look, this is bigger, bigger than this. So it can't be 17.14, it cannot be. So once you press 1.5, divide by 3.5, say equals first, and then you say ABC. I can see Margaret Mombi getting 3/7. Margaret Mombi is getting 3/7. 3/7. 3/7. It cannot lie to you. It cannot lie to you. This is a machine. Mosioka, it's a machine. A machine, garbage in, garbage out. It's a machine. Make sure you punch it very well. 1.5/3.5 equals, and then ABC. ABC. There is this button called ABC. ABC. 1.5 divided by 3.5. And you know, you can even go there and say 1.5 automatically. You say over 3.5 and say that automatically and see whether your computer will give you the 3/7. No. Or, you know, even from the word maximum, it can show you that with maximum exchange ratio, there is no dilution. No dilution. Yes, I can see what Paul has given us some hint there. Very important hint. Very important hint. So I'm waiting for you, Musioka, to tell me, hey, I've gotten it, or I haven't gotten it. We keep on explaining. So long as you have a good calculator, it shall be able to give you an answer. Got it. Thank you so much. So we go to number 2. Number 2, they want us to give them the total premium. Is there somebody who has that answer? Is there somebody who has this answer of total premium? Really fast. Total premium. Is there somebody who has an answer for total premium? I'll give you 3 minutes again. Give you 3 minutes. Okay, so what are they getting? I don't understand your answer here, Musioka. Why get this premium? What I'll do for me to get the premium, what I'll do for total premium, first of all, I'll come and remember the formula. So premium will be DOP minus what here? MPS of the target company. So then how do I get this in DOP? It's very easy. To get in DOP, we shall take market price per share of the predator, MPS of predator, all over EPS of predator, times EPS of target company. Great. Right? So they have given me the MPSs. So I can see from my table here, the MPS for A is 40. So I'll take 40 here, all over EPS of the same predator company. EPS over this is 3.5 times EPS of the targeted company. The targeted company EPS is 1.5. So could you kindly give me this in DOP? 40 over 3.5 times 1.5, they are getting 17.14. Non-diluting offer price. Non-diluting offer price is 17.14. 17.14. Is there somebody who can give me this figure in form of a fraction? Of course, for DOP, I can leave it like that. Is there somebody who can give me this figure from your calculator? Say 40 divided by 3.5 times 1.5 equals, so according to Faye, he or she is getting these names are quite hard for me to place the gender. You'll forgive me. But Faith, this must be Faith. So this must be Faith. So it's a she. She's getting 120 over what here? Over 7. 120 over 7. We're going good, but again, you have to press ABC to get it like an improper fraction. You prefer improper fraction, just one fraction, numerator of denominator. So 120 over 7. I'm going again, try that ABC, or you say shift ABC. And say shift ABC to see whether you get that 120 over 7. I'm so much interested with that. I will wait for you to see whether you'll get the 120 over 7. Shift ABC. 120 over 7. 171. 120 over 7. 120 over, so shift ABC. We don't write here, you know, at this level, you can't say at 17 is U1 over this is an improper fraction. Or rather, we want it to be improper, equal moja, since we have many fractions, equal moja. So to shift that 120 over. So then if you want to use this formula of getting maximum exchange ratio, then remember, we also have this formula of saying DOP over MPS. The one that I can see Mosioka is trying to say there that she was right. No. If you want to use this formula, you have to be very careful with the fractions. So you come and talk about DOP is 120 over 7. Now you divide this by what here? MPS of the predator. MPS of the predator, don't write this please. MPS of the predator is 40. MPS of the predator is 40. So could you kindly try this for us? So 120 over 7 divided by 40. At the end of the day, what are we going to get? As a fraction, you say 120 divided by 7 divided by 40 equals, then you say ABC. You end up getting that 3 over, was it 3 over 7? 3 over 7. So Moshoka, have I answered your question? You are not right. If you want to go this way, then you must be very careful with the fractions. You must be very careful with the fractions. But you don't want to go this way. No. This is what we wanted to do. We wanted to get premium, which is in DOP, which is 17.14. 17.14 minus MPS of the targeted company. MPS of the targeted company, MPS of the targeted company, MPS of the targeted company. I can see it is there, 15. 15. So then this gives me 2.14. But remember, this is per share. This is per share. How about total? How about the total? So to get the total here, to get the total here, to get the total premium, take the 2.14 per share times the number of ordinary shares of company 2. So it will be 2.14 times number of shares of company 2. Number of ordinary shares of company 2 times number of ordinary shares of company 2, number of ordinary shares of company 2, number of ordinary shares of company 2, number of ordinary shares, which I can see there are 2 there. 2.14 times 2, which will end up giving us 4.28. So are we together really here? Are we together 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 here? Yes. Monsieur, I want to believe you have seen really what I want to imply there, Monsieur. I know this level is a level of moving. I want to believe you have seen what I'm talking about, even after I've gone through that, right? You know, exchange ratio, we're looking at how many shares do you give out? How many shares do I give back? It has to be whole number in terms of what here, in terms of shares. You can't exchange like 17.14 shares. It cannot work. It can't work. It has to be whole number. So 2 shares, 3 shares, 7 shares, 10 shares, like that, right? Because you see, when you come on top of this, how do I call it? This maximum exchange ratio, would want a whole number. And how do you do it? So you're saying it is, if you're using this formula, it's endopia divided by MPS of who? MPS of the predator, right? MPS of the predator. And how do we get this endopia, non-diluting offer price? To get this non-diluting offer price, we are taking MPS of which company? MPS of the predator. MPS of the predator all over EPS of the predator. EPS of the predator times EPS of the target company. EPS of the target company. EPS of the target company. So MPS of the predator, this has been given already. MPS of the predator, MPS of the predator, this is 40. So we have here 40 divided by EPS of the predator. EPS of the predator is 3.5. EPS of the predator is 3.5 times EPS of the targeted company. EPS of the targeted company here is 1.5. So please ensure that as you get this answer, if you want to be exact in terms of number of shares, in terms of number of shares that will be exchanged, if you're using this format, then ensure that you get your answer here in form of a fraction. Don't get like 17.14, right? It has to be in the form of a fraction. And how do you get this in the form of a fraction? It's 40 divided by 3.5 times 1.5. The answer that I get there, if I say equals, say ABC. If you say ABC and then you end up getting like an answer which looks like this, A, comma, B, comma, C, comma, three arguments. What you do, go back there and say shift ABC again. Say shift ABC. Then you will be able to get that fraction. I can't remember it very well. Was it 120 over 7? Was it 120 over 7? Was it 120 over 7? 120 over 7? Is there somebody who can remember this fraction? 120 over 7, 120 over 7, 120 over 7. Yes. So this is what you will bring here. So now we talk of 120 over 7 divided by the MPS of the predator, which is 40. So 120 over 40, this will end up giving me 3 over what here? 3. So now I've been able to advise. Like the predator will give out 3 shares. For what here? For 7 shares in return. For 7 shares in return. So you have to be very exact. Very exact. Otherwise, you'll always get yourself in problems with KASNEB markers. I know that. I've marked this thing for so long, and I know like advanced FM is quite a challenging paper, very easy, but students don't have the methodology of doing it. So you get like in a semester like this last semester, we can't allow more than 2,000 students to do what? To pass AFM. Maximum 2,000, perhaps out of 20,000 on the paper. So you must really get those ideas. of the paper. When we say that we don't want decimals for exchange ratio, don't write decimals. You must know how to get the fractions. Great. Now go ahead very fast and give me Roman 3. Roman 3, what they want us to do in Roman 3. So Roman 3, they want us to give them, in Roman 3, they want us to give them A limited post-acquisition EPS per share if every 50 ordinary shares of B limited were exchanged for 1/8% debenture whose par value is 1,000, right? So basically one debenture whose par value is 1,000 will give us 50 shares. So then how many shares are we talking about of this company? This company that we want to acquire called B has got how many shares in total? Number of shares here that we have, ordinary shares outstanding for B, it is 2. So then how about 2 shares here? How about 2 shares? So then how much are we giving them? What amount of loan are we giving them? So this will be 1,000 times 2 divided by 50. Can somebody give me this answer? Monsieur is saying 2 million, right? 2 million shares. 2 million. Are you sure? Oh, that is 2 million, yes. How about this total debt? I'm calling this one here total debt. Total debt. So the total debt. Total debt. Salsa, Gladys, 40 like that. Thank you very much. So if this is the total debt, we shall give what we want here is the interest amount per annum. So the interest is 8% rate given. 8% of 40, then will end up giving me what figure? 8% of 40. 8% of 40 will end up giving me 3.2. Will end up giving me 3.2 million. And then, ladies and gentlemen, what I'll do very first, I'll come and remember the post-acquisition EPS formula. So post-acquisition EPS formula, what do we have? We have earnings of company 1. Earnings of company 2, here there is interest involved. So interest into 1 minus tax all over simply my base, which is number of ordinary shares of company 1, which is number of ordinary shares of company 1, number of ordinary shares of company 1. So could you kindly try to plug in? Now remember, this is not your EPS. So many students will always bring EPS here. This is not EPS. This is the total earnings of the firm, the total net income. So the total net income in this particular case, is what? The total net income in this particular case is 35. So I'm talking of 35 for company 1, 35 for company 1, plus income of company 2. Income of company 2, I'm getting here. Income of company 2, I'm getting 3. Interest already, I have 3.2. times, I want to imagine the tax is 30%. Tax is 30%. Divide this by number of ordinary shares of the first company, predator company. First company, predator company. First company, predator company, number of shares. There are how many? There are 10. Number of shares here are 10. 10. So abracadabra, could you kindly ensure that your numerator is okay? Please ensure that your numerator is okay. 35 plus 3 minus 3.2 times 0.7. What are we getting? What are we getting for the numerator alone? It's always good that you get to work your numerator alone and then your denominator. And then you divide. Numerator is 35.76. Thank you very much. This is 35, 0.76 divided by 10, which will end up giving me 3.567, 3.576. 3.576. That is the final answer. And now I have to rush. Bye-bye. No, before I say bye-bye, homework. Your homework for the 15 minutes left. Your homework is this question of November 2018. Question number 4C. November 2018, question number 4C. November 2018, question number 4C. November 2018, question number 4C. Mosioka, that story is coming. Don't worry. Story is coming. Coming in a big way. In a big way. November 2018, question number 4C is your question. Chilulu Industries Limited. Chilulu Industries Limited. I'm being told here that there is a third part. Is there a part left? How did we forget Roman 3? How did we forget Roman 3? Roman 3, Roman 3. Roman 3, A Limited supposed to agree on EPS if the two companies settle on a price of 20. When there is a price being given there, an offer price being given there, the first thing, ladies and gentlemen, that we need to do is to come and calculate the exchange rate. So somebody is telling me Mwalimu number 3 was not done. So calculate the exchange ratio for us, the normal exchange ratio for us. So this will be the offer price over MPS of producer, offer price over MPS. So the offer price is 20. The offer price there is 20. The offer price is 20. The offer price is 20. The offer price is 20. A Limited is post-acquisition earnings per share if the two companies settle on a price of 20. So the offer price is 20, and then we have the MPS. MPS is what here? MPS is 40. MPS of the predator is 40. So 20 over 40. So 20 over 40, if you wish, you can say it's half. First say 0.5, a fraction, right? And then go ahead and give us what we are calling the post-acquisition EPS. So post-acquisition EPS, this will be earnings of company 1, earnings of company 2, over number of ordinary shares of company 1, plus number of ordinary shares of company 2, multiplied by exchange ratio. Right? So earnings of company 1 is 35. Earnings of company 1 is 35. Plus earnings of company 2, 3. Number of ordinary shares of company 1 is 10. Number of ordinary shares of company 2. Number of ordinary shares of company 2. Number of ordinary shares of company 2. There are 2. So 2 times a half. So again, you have to be careful. Numerator is 38. Denominator, this is 2 times a half. This is 1. 10 plus 1 is 11. So 38 divided by 11 will end up giving me what figure? Will end up giving me what figure? Will end up giving me 3.45. 3.45, like 3.45, like that, 3.45.